I'm Dave, the pain trained Mazany. I was a former professional fighter. I had 25 pro fights, had a title in South Africa, all kinds of stuff. But I'm one of the athletes in this merging vets and players. So I'm one of the players, the professional athletes. So we took a group to the healing sanctuary today, and we learned a lot of breath work. And I've done a little bit of breath work with yoga, done a little bit of breath work in different workshops, but we went really intense. We learned some stuff we can do in the morning. We learned some practices we can do during exercise in the middle of sets, stuff like that. And also we did some breath work in order to sustain during a cold plunge. And then everything in between. At the end, we're gonna get a handbook and learn it all. But what was really cool about it is, for one, doing the cold plunge, which I did a lot as a professional athlete. We do a cold plunge for recovery. Well, we learn a good technique to sort of get you through the cold plunge. Before, I would just sit in there and freeze, but the breath work sort of kept you focused, gave you some internal heat as you did it, and it's something you could use all over the place. I noticed when you focus on your breath, and I did this when I was a collegiate track and field athlete, you can use it as a rhythm, and you can use it to get yourself through something that's difficult. And what we learned today is a certain type of breath work will bring out a feeling or an emotion, kind of reset you and get you out of where you're at currently. So sometimes breath is something that will just change everything overall. So the breath work was super awesome. There was even a point where we did these breath work exercises where we kind of looked around and said, man, I kind of feel high. And we were saying, hey, we're getting high on our own supply. Out of just air and the way we were breathing, we kind of felt euphoric, which is awesome because it's always nice to feel euphoric every once in a while. One of the cool things that we learned too was, something we talked about a lot was our cell phones, social media, all the weird senses of gratification we get throughout the day. And what the breathing stuff did is got us into kind of a natural state again. All too often in life, we're relying on a lot of forms of artificial gratification. And through breath work, it kind of got us back to our roots, to Mother Nature almost. And you had this weird sense of grounding, weird sense of like feeling calm and feeling like equilibrium. When I can't get that with Facebook, I can't get that with Instagram, and the stuff we're seeking on the cell phone, this is something you can get. It felt a lot like the runner's high I used to get when I was a collegiate track and field athlete. So that was a really cool thing. Another thing we went over, which was awesome, was journaling. It's something I've been dabbling with, but we set up some structure for journaling, and actually to keep track of some of the breath work exercises we're gonna do. We got given daily breath work, like less than 10 minutes a day, moving meditation, because often meditation comes in different forms, and we learned a breathwork meditation and how we can track and keep track of how the performance was that day, and you can compare it to other days. And with that data that you create, you can kind of start to evaluate what's going on in your life. That's what this was definitely a big piece of. We learned a lot about life, about journaling, how to deal with stress, how to deal with all the stuff can be dealing with the work, spouses, all kinds of tools to deal with stress. On top of that, like wellness comes in many forms with the exercise techniques we learned, with the breath work that we learned. There was also nutrition on top of it. It's a big piece of our well-being. So we learned about our gut microbiome. We learned about nutrients and how to combine the right foods together in order to absorb, because sometimes you'll eat something but you won't absorb it 100%. So we learned that, expose a lot of the people to different foods or ideas of way we can intake foods that we didn't know before. So the nutrition was a huge piece that I was really excited to see. And also some of the breath work, another piece of wellness that was awesome, was learning how to sleep. We take for granted how much sleep makes us feel good and makes us do better and perform better. So the whole combination, the breath work helping with sleep, the nutrition helping with your body, with the exercise helping you get healthy, combining it all, we got a bunch of tools to take home. Now, after learning this in this intensive workshop, now it's our job to go home and use it and continue the practice that we learned today. So the Healing Sanctuary did a great job showing us a full spectrum of practices that we can put in our daily lives in order to improve ourselves. So you guys should go check it out. It was awesome, and I can't wait to share with my brothers at MVP what we learned, because it'll help a lot.